That's another one.
Another? Wait, seriously?
Seriously, that makes 3 now.
I mean, it's nice that they keep sending us things, but what are we even supposed to do with all of these?
Well, the same thing we always do, I suppose. We test it, see how it works, and figure out if it's worth using.
Yeah, that makes sense. Do you think this one's different from the other two?
I suppose there's only one way to find out.
This is the HUION Kamvas Pro 16 V2, an upgraded version of the Kamvas Pro 16. HUION sent me this tablet for review, and right off the bat I can tell you that this is a really big jump from what I am used to. My daily driver for art and animation is my 11-inch iPad Pro, and previously HUION had sent me the Kamvas Pro 13 2.5K and the Kamvas 13 Gen 3. For comparison, this is how big the Kamvas Pro 16 V2 is compared to the 13, and here's the comparison between this one and the iPad. Now, I realize that some of you may already be used to working with larger screen tablets, but for me, this is a really big jump, especially for somebody who has a very limited desk space. But let's look into some of the features. Inside the box, you have the Kamvas Pro 16 V2, a foldable stand, which is similar to ones that I've gotten from previous tablets, the battery-free pen, standard pen nibs and the pen holder, a 3-in-1 cable, the power adapter, an artist glove, a cleaning cloth, and a quick start guide. I'm not typically a person that dives into the specs of the model, so if you guys want to look those up for yourself, go check it out on the store page for HUION. Immediately right out of the box, I really enjoyed how this tablet felt in my hand. The screen itself, just to the touch, has a really smooth glass finish, and although it is quite a fingerprint magnet, I personally don't mind that. I'm pretty used to a lot of smudges and stuff on my tablets. It just means that it is pretty well used. Just like with previous HUION tablets, you have a set of buttons along the side of the screen. You've got 6 programmable press keys, you've got a touch bar, you've got the power button, and these are surprisingly really nice to click. Another thing that I love about these HUION tablets is just how thin these are. Like, this almost rivals the thickness of my iPad, and honestly, given its size, it's surprisingly light, at least to me. Overall, even before turning it on, I could really feel that this was a premium piece of hardware. Like, I really enjoyed just holding it and turning it in my hands and just admiring it. It's very sleek and very nice to look at. Personally, I am not the biggest fan of the foldable stand, at least this particular one. There's just something about the texture and the way that the hinges feel when I try to push into it to set up the stand. It just feels weird to me specifically, and that might just be a texture thing, but with me being an iPad person, I have a whole bunch of different stands that I use, so I could easily swap this out for any of the other ones that I own. That, and as I previously mentioned, it's really nice to hold in the hand, so I could also see myself using this in my lap or just flat on my desk if I wanted to use this as a screenless tablet. But now let's get into the setup. So as previously mentioned, this tablet comes with a 3-in-1 cable. This is pretty standard across a lot of drawing tablets. It's got an HDMI cable, a USB cable, and then a little plug that goes into the power adapter, and then the USB-C port which goes directly into the tablet itself. Now, this is where I was starting to find a little bit of resistance to what I was used to. I'm not someone who typically works long-term at my desk. I like to take my iPad or a smaller tablet and just be in other places like the dining table or a coffee shop, and I don't like to carry too many things. When I was gifted the HUION Kamvas 13, I found that you could actually take a specific USB-C cable and plug it into the laptop, and it would power on the tablet and it would work just like that. No need for an extra plug. However, this tablet does not have that single USB-C feature. You have to use the 3-in-1. which is perfectly understandable. This is a bigger tablet, it requires a lot more power to power on, so that makes sense. But in my mind, I found that I was sort of losing that convenience of being able to take it with me on the go, because the ports and the cables and everything was just going to be taking up more space in my bag. Now, granted, that did not discourage me from using this tablet completely. As always, I want to give these tablets a fair shot, so I set it up at my desk and gave it a go. Immediately upon turning it on, I could see just how great this screen looked. First of all, the increased real estate, 15.6-inch active area screen is absolutely fantastic for doing big, broad strokes and being able to see more of your drawing. It's actually a really great advantage over the iPad that I will always give to these screen tablets. As much as I love the iPad, sometimes you need a bigger real estate in order to actually get stuff done. I had to install the new version of the HUION tablet drivers, but honestly that was the quickest part of the process. After a little bit of calibration, I picked up the pen and started drawing, and oh my gosh you guys, it feels really nice to draw on this thing. Especially with the provided drawing glove, your hand just glides over this. Another thing that I especially love is the fact that you have so much customization over every single part of this tablet, from the active area to the buttons. You can control what each of these buttons do, you can change the orientation. So for instance, in my case, I have to flip the tablet in order to properly use it where my laptop is positioned, and especially because I am left-handed, I prefer having the buttons on the right side. It's a simple enough fix to flip the settings in both your computer's display settings and in the HUION tablet settings themselves. The pen itself is also customizable. It's really great to be able to change the sensitivity of how hard you press when you draw. You can change what each of the buttons do, and I do like the fact that the pen actually has a button that opens a little keyboard pop-up. It's really great and handy to have at a moment's notice. As you can see, I really loved using this tablet. I actually was really surprised at how natural it felt for me. Like, out of the box, I was pretty much using this thing instantly, and it paired so well with other parts of my workflow. So for instance, I was given the Tourbox Elite Plus, and I used that as my way of navigating around the screen, rotating the canvas, and so pair that with the buttons on the side, and I have a lot of options for hotkeys and shortcuts and ways to manipulate the canvas. It was a really smooth experience. An additional thing that I loved is because I was using a bigger screen with a higher resolution, I was able to make really meticulous line art, especially for my art style, which is anime art style. Being able to draw really thin hair strands and allowing me to create more detailed illustrations and animations really lent to the positives of this tablet. I do want to quickly mention that a little personal gripe of mine, and this is nothing against HUION or any sort of digital tablet pen, but personally, I got so used to using the Apple Pencil that I forgot what it was like to have buttons on my pen. Like, sometimes I would be drawing and then the little keyboard thing pops up on the screen because I accidentally clicked on the little button there. Obviously, there are ways to disable the keys so that nothing happens when I press them, but I do like the ability to use the actual keys on the pen to do stuff like right-click or move things around. And it's probably the way that I'm holding it. I'm just not particularly used to holding pens of this size. But again, that's just a me thing, that's a personal thing. Nothing against the tablet itself. The actual setup is very lovely, and I do really appreciate having this at my disposal. One of the things that I will praise the Kamvas Pro 16 for, and this is something that is not going to be very well shown on camera, but trust me, it's the Canvas Glass 2.0. So this is providing anti-glare effects and a paper-like texture, and as somebody who really loves using Paperlike on my iPad, this really felt like home for me. It addressed sparkles and grain issues, and it reduced glare for me, and I was able to continue to use it without worrying about color being all weird or things like that. It allowed me to draw and use the pen on the actual tablet and not have to worry about, oh, this is a smooth glass surface and so it feels too slippery for me. Like, no, genuinely, this is one of the best screens that I've ever drawn on. Like, I'm not even like getting paid to say any of this. Like, this is really the biggest thing that I will praise this tablet for, is specifically the canvas glass. It's really great, guys, just trust me. Overall, I would say that this is a very solid drawing tablet. The HUION Kamvas Pro 16V2 is honestly one that I would recommend to my friends and family. It's beginner friendly, pretty easy to set up. The buttons are laid out pretty intuitively, everything is customizable, and like I said before, the drawing experience is really fantastic. And if you guys don't believe me, I used the HUION Kamvas Pro 16V2 to make that animation that you guys saw at the beginning of the video. Thank you to HUION for sending me this tablet. I really enjoyed reviewing it, and I'm looking forward to future collaborations. Also guys, there is a Black Friday event happening from November 20th to December 1st, so if you're watching it within that time frame, check the link in the description. There are going to be links available so that you can get some great discounts. And if you want to see other reviews I've done of other drawing tablets, or you want to check out some of the animations that I've made for my channel, check out the links that you see on screen right now. Thank you once again to HUION for sending me this tablet, and I will see you guys in the next video.